Hey friends, and welcome to the Peacock Homestead. I am actually on my way to go renew my license. I am going to go to the thrift shop and I'm going to do an Aldis haul. And then I wanted to show you some homestead happenings. So let's go. finally I am home, and my pups are so happy about that. They're always happy when I come home. And me too. It is crazy out there. So this is what I got at the thrift shop. I got a beautiful Wagner cast iron pan, and I got it for $45. I know this seems kind of pricey, but I did look up the prices. I googled the prices and they are pretty high. So I'll be probably doing all of my cast iron pans and curing them in the next video. And I seen Jessica did hers on the last video, so that was exciting and it inspired me to do mine. So I'll be showing that on the next video. So I have an Aldis haul here. I got some kale because I wanted to be canning that up. I got some mozzarella cheese. I got 3 packets of butter because they were only $3.75. The kale was $3.49. And then I got this ham for $7.63. And then I got some chips, some kettle chips, and some regular Utz chips. Those are my favorite. And then I got some hamburger for around $11.11. And some pork sausage for $2.89. And that's gonna roll away. And then I got some Gala apples. Those are $3.29, and lemons, those are $3.89. And then I have these little baby oranges, mandarins, they were $3.59. And then I didn't say the milk was $2.83, and the mozzarella was $2.09, and the chips were $1.95 for the kettle chips, and the Utz chips were $2.79. And it all came out to $68.70. And I don't know if you guys noticed this, but I had an owl friend here. He was here for 2 days. He was hunting in the back swamp there for some mice underneath the snow drifts. So I saw him. He actually flew down and grabbed a mouse and flew away, but I couldn't catch that on film. But isn't he so beautiful? And I wanted to show you a couple dinners. Actually, I think I have 3. This is just I have biscuits and gravy. So this is the pork that I bought. I'm just browning up the pork. And then we're gonna add some flour and milk and some salt and pepper. So this is just to thicken it up. I'm gonna mix that all in together there. And it's gonna be a nice thickener to make our gravy. This is a super simple go-to meal that I do once in a while because I have biscuits in my freezer that I made a couple of videos ago. So I wanted to do a quick, easy dinner, and this was a perfect go-to for tonight. So I'm just adding some milk, and then I just go by eye. I had to add a little bit more milk just to thin it out a little bit because it got really thick. And then I just added salt and pepper, and it was pretty much all done. Just gotta let it thicken up a little bit though. It takes about 2 to 3 minutes to thicken it right up, and you see it's already getting thick there, and it'll be perfect to serve over my biscuits. And what I did just to heat up my biscuits is I wrapped it in a paper towel and I put it in for 30-second intervals. So pretty much I put it in for 2 30-second intervals, so that was just a quick minute in the microwave, and they're ready to get the gravy poured on top and ready to have dinner. And this is how we like it, like in the middle between thick and thin, just perfect. And it was definitely delish. So this is what dinner looked like on that night. I was busy the whole day doing things, and I thought this would be a nice, quick, and easy comfort meal. So it was delish. And that is mine. I cut mine in half, and we devoured that on that night. And on this night, I am getting a wonderful recipe from Lisa Bass's book. She has a new book out. It's called Daily Sourdough, and we are making sourdough pancakes. I can't wait for these. My husband requested them and they are super delicious. It is pretty much just taking your active sourdough, a couple eggs, and I substituted coconut with beef tallow, and then I put honey, baking soda, and salt. My measuring cup is a little bit full, but that's okay. We are going to be using this right now and making pancakes. And I just did a thing. I got rid of all of my pans that have Teflon on them, so these are no longer with us anymore. I had just gotten a new cast iron pan, so that added to my family of cast iron pans. So I will be seasoning them up on the next video. And so my husband was kind of upset with me, but I said it's for our health and we do not need these anymore. They're starting to chip and I do not want to be ingesting Teflon. And then this is how my pancakes turned out. They are super delicious. They made a whole bunch and now I am ready to have dinner. And this is the hubs. I put a little bit of butter on there and just a smidgen of maple syrup and they were delicious. And so this week I am making my weekly bagels. They are sitting here for about 20 minutes. And then I'll shape them and get them in the boiling water and then bake them. So those are resting. And then I wanted to show you that I have some sourdough bread going here, my weekly bread. And that's on the second rise, so it's rising for another 6 hours. And then I will get those baked. And then this week I am planning on planting my pepper seeds that I saved from the farmer's market, and then I saved some seeds from the Amish peppers that I got down the road from my friends. So I have some poblano peppers, I have banana peppers, and then I have jalapeno peppers. And then over here I have my loofahs. I'm going to be planting those a little bit early. They'll probably do better if I plant them early, I figured. And then I have some basil. And I have some bell peppers that I got last year. And I'm definitely going to be planting eggplant. Those take forever. And then this is not beets. These are onions. I have a little packet in there that says Vidalia onions. So I'll be planting those as well. And I'm super excited to start my plants. I can't wait for the summer in our gardens. I've never actually started this early, so it'll be a really good experiment and a learning experience. So I'll take you along with me. And I think I'll have a better chance of getting some of these veggies, and then I'll be able to store them and use them accordingly. Those are all planted, and now I have a few more seeds that I want to plant. So I want to plant my onions and a couple more of my pepper plants, and I also want to plant my basil. So I'm going to head over to Walmart in a few days and get another starter kit. So these are what my bagels look like. This week I used sesame seeds and poppy seeds. I figure it'd be a good change for us, and I'm going to get these in the oven. They look really pretty now, but wait till you see when they come out. And I'm going to cook these for about 20 to 25 minutes on 425. My bagel and bread and biscuit recipe is going to be right on my blog, thepeacockhomestead.com. Here are my beautiful bagels. They kind of remind me of pretzels. I do want to make some pretzels here soon, just because I love soft pretzels. Those are my favorite, but these turned out really wonderful, and I put a whole bunch in the freezer for us so we can eat off this week. And of course I had to try one, so this is what I put on it. I put some cream cheese and some cowboy candy, and that is super delish. That is one of my go-to snacks for breakfast or anytime. So this bread is ready to go in the oven. I had my Dutch oven preheating in my oven for 45 minutes, and I got them all baked up. I cooked them for 20 minutes covered and 10 minutes uncovered, and then the temperature that I had it on was 475 degrees, and it turns out wonderful every time, so I usually stick with that. Aren't those so pretty? I love my sourdough. That's all we eat now. And on this night, I forgot to turn on the camera, but we had fish and cabbage. I'll be popping that in. And I figured we were going to make some corn muffins for dessert. So the secret to my corn muffin mix is just a basic corn muffin mix. And then I'm adding 2 tablespoons of tallow. For the recipe for the corn muffins, it is 1 cup of cornmeal, a cup of flour, 1/4 cup of sugar, 3 teaspoons of baking powder, 1 teaspoon of salt, 1/4 cup of oil, I use olive oil, 1 cup of milk, and 1 egg. And then we're going to get these all into these little muffin cups, and we are going to bake this for about 15 to 20 minutes, and it's going to be at 425 degrees. These turned out super delish, and I love having these for breakfast as well as snacks on the go. They are perfect little bite size, and they're really good. And the extra little beef tallow made it super moist. It was my grandma's trick, and I will never forget that. I had a little bit left over because I wanted to show you guys, but all I did with this cabbage was put butter, salt, and pepper, and I did the same thing with the bullhead, and I had tilapia as well, but I added some lime, salt, and pepper, and butter. But this is what the corn muffins look like. They were really good with a little bit of butter, and they were super delicious. And then we had a couple, and then I popped the rest in the freezer for future snacks. And one of my projects for this week was to can up these collard greens. So what I'm doing here is I am going to be wilting these in water, and so I just cook it until it's a little bit soft so you can pop them in the can a bit better. But that is 3 bags right there. It fills up my water bath canner all the way. And it's wilting down a little bit. That's exactly how I want it, just underneath the water. I don't want to cook it too much because it's going to cook in the canner, but that is perfect. So I just strain this out and I let it cool off because it's super hot, and then we're going to get these in the jars. And I actually got 5 quarts, and that's 5 quarts that I didn't have before, so I was happy about that. And for the temperature and everything, for the PSI, so for my area it's 13 to 15 PSI. So I usually just process it around 13 to 14. It just depends on what the canner holds on to. And I'm gonna pressure can this because it's a low acid food. And I'm gonna pressure can it for 90 minutes. So that'll be an hour and a half. And as soon as you let it vent for 10 minutes, you put the weight on, and then you let it get up to pressure, and then you're gonna can that for 90 minutes. So here I'm just adding the water. I think I got a whole bottle of water and just a little bit extra for each one of these because I'm debubbling here and that brings the water level down. And I'm going to debubble all these jars, and then I'm going to add a little bit more water because some does siphon out in the canning process, but as long as it's sealed, it is safe. And I think that cooks these collard greens really well, because have you ever noticed when you just cook collard greens from the bag, it takes forever. So this makes it a lot faster when you're just ready to have dinner and have a nice side, and you just pop it out, heat it up, put your spices on, and it's all ready to go. All right, I'm popping these in, and I'm going to let it vent for 10 minutes and get it on the canning process. And they are all done. And see how beautiful and bubbly they are? Just be careful and use your little prongs there. And I'm going to let this sit overnight and give them a good wash with some vinegar water. And don't forget to label. And then I'll have 5 quarts of collard greens on my shelf. So I'm going to be using up some of this ham on this night. And of course, I am making pizza. But we haven't had this flavor actually ever since I've been living here with my husband. We have never made Hawaiian pizza, so I'm excited to try it. I'm using some leftover pasta sauce, which I needed to get used up. I'm using my dough that I had in my freezer, some pineapple and ham, and we're going to get going making this pizza. I got my oven preheating on 425. I've found that 425 is a perfect temperature to cook your pizza for about 13 to 15 minutes, and it cooks it really nice on the bottom. So I'm just getting the sauce on, and then we're going to dress this pizza up and get it right in the oven. This is what our Hawaiian pizza looked like. It was super delicious. We'll be making this again another day. My husband and I really enjoyed it. And I hope you guys are all having a wonderful week. Thank you for watching my video all the way to the end. And if you are new here, I would love it if you give me a subscribe. Many blessings, and I will see you on the next video, friends.